I'm a firm believer in that no leader shows up wanting to be a monster. Um,
True.
but there are naysayers out there too who would say there's people who are wired for this, and there's people just who are maybe not. So I guess I'd be curious what your experience has been with perhaps those who might be classified as not as wired for this. Like, how do you work with people who maybe this isn't as innate of a skill? You know, where do they start? How do you work with those people
Absolutely.
to I don't know, get on their journey of
Yeah.
building.
Well, it's true. Actually, most people are wired for this. It takes organizations to really build this into their workforce that leaders can step up to this. But um, speaking to the leader themselves, I always encourage them first to ask, how well do you know your people? That's really the first piece. And so a practical action that a leader can take, to do with each of their direct report is to do a intentional conversation, not just a status update, but ones that include questions like, what are you working towards? What's creating friction in your spends? What do you need more clarity on from me? And what is one thing that I can do differently to better support you? Those simple questions. Get to know your team, because when I talk about earlier the leader who reacts versus respond, this connects directly into that, because when you know your people, that built-in pause becomes even more useful. You, instead of asking, you start with, of course, how am I feeling? But then you start asking, given what I know about this person, this team, this moment in time, what clarity can I provide? And what would that action of trust be?
I would even go a step further because I like that, because I would say, I talk about having really good open career conversations with people too, just around what is it that they want to do? What are they here for? Um, so I like the, what's getting in their way? What can I unlock for you? I would even go a step further and say, if you don't truly know what you're now, I'm not encouraging people to get like inappropriately interested in their people
Of course not.
and
Yeah.
their personal lives, but you should probably know a thing or two about your employees' life outside of work too, right? I think for years there was this leave your personal life at the door kind of thinking,
Hmm.
and my uh, my terrible saying is, no one is paid to take a bullet for someone they don't like, except for perhaps the Secret Service.